Thank you, Bill. Thank you, Jerry. Good morning, everyone. Happy Easter, and welcome to Unity of Orange County. How you doing today? It's so nice to see you guys here. Thank you so much for joining us. We're going to get things going by some singing together, so please rise. And we will sing together, I Release and I Let Go. Just as a fair warning, the service is going to go a little different order than you're used to today, just in case you need a second to think about that. All right, here we go. There was a time in my life I thought I'd have to do it all for myself. Didn't know the grace of God was sufficient. Didn't know the love of God was at hand. But now I can say, if you are discouraged, struggling just to make it through another day, you've got to let it go. Let it all go. And this is what you have to say. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Thank you guys so much for joining. You may be seated. I would like to welcome Reverend Arlene to the platform.
Okay. Said it was going to be different.
Right?
All right. Welcome. We are going to do everything a little bit different service. And I just want one announcement. For those of you who thought this was my last Sunday, I'm sorry to disappoint you, but it's not. It's the last Sunday in April, just so you know. I'm not going to be running off at the end of this. Anyway, we are going to do our love offering at the beginning of our service. And we do this because at the end, we don't want to interrupt the flow of the service. So I invite you, if you've brought a love offering, to please take it out, and we're going to bless it, and the ushers are going to pass the baskets. So if you haven't brought a love offering, you can put your hands together and say the blessing, and when the baskets come around, put your hand over them. So together, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, and I am grateful. And as the baskets go around, we'd like to see if anyone is here today for the first time. Do we have any first-timers? We don't like to... Oh, welcome. I think you got a packet when you came in. You got a little gift when you came in. Yes. And we have another gift for you. We have a blessing. So together, we love you. We bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the Christ in you. So like we said, this is going to be a little different. So after the love offering, we are then going to do blessing to the world. And we have today, I just have to announce this, our choir, which has grown. I mean... Our choir keeps getting bigger and bigger. I said to Bill, I said, watch out, Brooklyn Tabernacle. We decided we liked that better than the Mormon one. So anyway, yes, it's just getting bigger and bigger. All right, so now we'll introduce Tom again.
Yes, we're going to get things ready for our meditation done by the wonderful Shanice. And to do that, we're going to sing together, Blessing to the World. We want you to hear this, affirm this, share it with everybody at the end, all right? Here we go. This first one is for you. Listen and sing. You are the heart, you are the hands, you are the voice of Spirit on earth, and who you are and all you do is a blessing to the world. Having heard it, take it in for yourself. Know the I am. I am the heart, I am the hands, I am the voice of spirit on earth, and who I am, and all I do is a blessing to the world. Now expand to include everyone. We are the heart, we are the hands, we are the voice of spirit on earth, and who we are, and all we do is a blessing to the world. A blessing to the world. I'd like to invite Stephanie to the platform.
Sorry. Now I'm holding something. Oh my goodness. I am so honored and happy to stand up here and look out at all of your shining faces. You are total lights of beauty. Honestly, I see you shining, all of you. And I love looking out at you. So we're going to do our meditation without a daily word today because today is very special. Today is Easter. Today is the day that Christ rose. And I want you to get quiet in your seats. Feel the ground beneath your feet. Feel the energy of the earth moving up through your body. The love of Mother Earth filling you. And today, we acknowledge and understand that Christ lives in us. We say, He is risen. Hosanna, He has risen. He has risen in us. Feel the love of Christ in your body. See that light. Golden and pink and shining out. Breathe in the love of God. Know that all these days of 40 days of Lent, we've released. We've let go of what does not serve us. And now we have risen anew, ready to start again, shining and bright. Take a deep breath. Fill your bodies with that love and spirit. And for the next minute or so, spend time feeling that Christ has risen in you. Slowly and gently come back to this time and place. Wiggle your toes, come into your body. But know today and every day that Christ's light lives and breathes in you. Beloved ones. And so it is.
That was beautiful. Thank you. Thank you all. So that was absolutely beautiful. And thank you, Stephanie, for that beautiful meditation. So today we're going to talk about, everyone knows at Easter, we celebrate Easter, that Christ has risen, and the story about Good Friday and all of that. But there's actually, metaphysically, there's 5 parts of Easter, which actually relate to us in our own life, as well as to Jesus in his journey to crucifixion and being risen. And so the 5 elements of the story is the arrest, the trial, the execution, the resurrection, and the ascension. And these are actually things that we all go through in our own life. So the arrest happens when you set a goal for some greater good in your life. And usually, like Jesus, before we reach that goal, we get arrested by negative thoughts and appearances, right? We set a goal, we're going to do this, and then everything that could go wrong goes wrong. And if nothing goes wrong, our mind goes wrong and tells us, what are you doing? You can't do that goal. What are you, crazy? And Jesus went through that, in the Garden of Gethsemane. He was like, take this cup from me. I changed my mind. And it's like, but then it's your will, not mine, be done. So we all go through trials in our life, especially once we decide we're going to do something new. I know I certainly can relate to this. So then the trial, we're put on a trial. And the trial is that time when we have to hold fast to what we are believing, what that goal is. It's like, have you ever set something that you wanted to do and then you tell a family member or a friend and they say, what are you, crazy? You don't want to do that. Why would you want to do that? And so it's important that we hold on to what we believe is true, no matter what people say. When we came up with the idea to have our retreat center, I knew not to tell anybody, because when I was a child, my father taught me that. He said, don't tell anybody anything until you're ready to actually do it. He would buy a new car and he would drive it home. He wouldn't even tell us he was getting a new car, because people will put those ideas on trial, and then you're going to find yourself having to defend it. So rather than defend it, it's best not to talk to anyone about it. And then it's the execution. So we must totally let go and die to all the old fears and ideas that keep us moving from a freer life. That's what Jesus did. That's what the Israelites did for 40 years in the desert. Why did the Israelites spend 40 years in the desert? 40 is a number of completion. Lent is 40 days. It is a number of completion. And so the Israelites, they had to wait till everybody that left Egypt died except for 2 people. And the reason why is all those people that left Egypt brought with them the negative thinking that they had when they were in Egypt. And they had to die, and only the 2 scouts who saw the truth, who saw the promised land when no one else saw it, got to go into the promised land. So we go through our own execution, and that's letting go of those negative thoughts, finally putting them to rest, killing them in a way, executing them so that they don't keep us from our goal. And then we have the resurrection. And so from this death, whether it be a death of ideas or in Jesus' case, a death of his body, in this letting go, the new is born and a resurrection occurs. You see, we don't get the resurrection until the old dies. Jesus could not have the resurrection without the crucifixion, without the execution. And we can't move sometimes forward in our life until the old dies, just like the Israelites couldn't get into the promised land until all that old thinking. Folks, it's our thinking, for us, it's our thinking that keeps us from attaining that which we wish to attain, a new life. And so we have to get rid of all of that, just like Jesus had to get rid of his body. And he understood that. And then once the resurrection occurs, we have the ascension. And the ascension is your new life unfolding. It's when you ascend into a higher state of consciousness. And that higher state of consciousness is reflected in your body, in your mind, in your circumstances. In Jesus' case, the ascension occurred when he became in a different form. And think about it, who saw him after the ascension? Only those people who believed and had the faith, A, that it was possible, and B, that understood that he was going to be in a different form than what they saw. And for us, our ascension is this newer state of consciousness where we can see things differently, where we possibly can do new things in our life that maybe we didn't think we could do with our old mind, our old thinking. So we go through the same 5 steps that Jesus went through. And we often do it more than once in our life. We do it usually anytime we're making some big change. So this also occurs in our daily needs. You know, sometimes it occurs in little bits and we don't realize it, that we're constantly going through trials and execution and resurrection as we change little things in our life. Charles Fillmore, Unity's co-founder, said that the resurrection is the lifting up of the whole man into Christ consciousness. It is the lifting up of our spirit, our soul, and our body into a Christ consciousness. That's what Jesus ascended to, and that's what we ascend to as we change our thoughts. So we die to the old and we come to the new, and that's what Easter is about. Easter is about the victory over the things that we think are so impossible for us to overcome. In Jesus' overcoming death, what he was saying is, anything is possible. Anything is possible. And it might not be a physical death in our case, but it's the death of something we've held on to that keeps us back from doing what we need to do. So it's a time of celebration. Easter is not a sad time, it's a time of celebration because it's a time when we get to appreciate its higher consciousness and know that all things are possible. That's what Jesus came to teach. That's why he was willing to go through the crucifixion, to tell us everything is possible to overcome. If we change our thinking, if we change our consciousness, we may not be able to change something in our physical body, but we can change the way we see it. We can change the way we think about it. We can change the way we speak about it. And when we do that, we get lifted up. And so I'm now going to invite the choir to sing their next song. And as they're singing this, which is Light of the World, remember that as you get raised up in your consciousness, as you have this resurrection and all of that, you truly do become the light of the world.
Got it. Sorry about that. Okay, ready?
Let your light
light. You are the city of God. You are the city of God. But if that city's on a hill, it's kinda hard to hide it well. You gotta stick in the city of God. So let your light so shine before men. Let your light so shine. So they may find your kindness again. We all need help to feel fine. Let's be some light. You are the light of the world. You are the light of the world. But if that's all the candlestick ain't got good without a wick, you gotta live right to be the light of the world. Yeah!
I'm telling you, watch out, Brooklyn Tabernacle. We're right behind you. All right. Okay. So we're now going to do our flower ceremony. So at Unity, we do things a little differently. We don't do the normal bread, wine, and all of that. We use flowers. Flowers are just prettier, more representing of life and all of that. So we have for you these beautiful roses, and we also have for you a blessing. And this is our communion. So we're going to invite you to come up forward, and you're going to take a flower and a blessing, and then go back to your seat. We're going to start with, let's start in the front. Can I get some people to kind of help organize this, or it'll be disaster? Thank you. All right, so we're going to start in the front, and then we're going to go sit, and as they start to go back to their seat, then the second row comes up. All right, one row at a time. And Tina's got the blessings, and Shanice and Stephanie have flowers, and we have flowers here too. All right, so first row, if we can have some music, Tom. Thank you. I need some blessings for the other side.
May you be blessed. May you be blessed. May you be so blessed. May you be blessed. May you be blessed. May you be forever blessed. May you be blessed. May you be blessed. May you be so.
It's okay. It's okay. Just let it go.
May you be blessed. May you be blessed. May you be forever blessed.
Basket.
So blessed. So
Then you get double the blessing. That's okay.
Save it for somebody else. But this I want.
piece of paper? It's okay. That's good. That's good. We have a lot. We have a lot. No, it's okay. Go pick up your paper. Thank you. Okay. Is everyone gone? Okay. Oh, thank you. We have. Did everyone get a blessing? Some people may have gotten more than one. Here, Stephanie, you get your blessing? Okay. So the blessing is a special blessing. If you got more than one, and you're doubly blessed. So, and we're grateful that you're here. We're now going to do a candle lighting ceremony. And the lighting of these candles represents that each candle represents an aspect of overcoming that was done by the Christ nature in Jesus. It also represents that we ourselves can overcome if we just raise our consciousness above appearances and look to truth to be our guide. So I'm going to invite the first candlelight lighter up front.
I light this candle for Christ's victory over darkness and despair. I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will never walk in darkness, but will have the light of life. And that was from Scripture, John 8, verse 12. And from John 16:33, be of good cheer, I have overcome the world.
April.
I light this candle for Christ's victory over sickness and disease. I am the way, the truth, and the life, from John 4:6. And your faith has made you well. Go in peace and be healed of your disease, from Mark 5:34.
I light this candle for Christ's victory over grief and sadness. So the scripture is, I will not leave you orphaned, I'm coming to you. That's from John 14:18. And peace I leave with you, my peace I give to you. That's from John 14:27. And from Matthew 28:20, I am with you always.
I light this candle for Christ's victory over hatred and unforgiveness. And the scripture is, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. From Luke 23:34. Love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you. From Matthew 5, verse 34.
I light this candle for Christ's victory over poverty and lack. Oops. I am the bread of life. Whoever comes to me will never be hungry. From John 6:35. I came that they might have life and have it abundantly. John 10:10.
I light this candle for Christ's victory over feeling unloved and neglected. And the scripture is, I have loved you with an everlasting love. That's from Jeremiah 31:3. And from John 15:9, as the Father has loved me, so have I loved you. Abide in my love.
I light this candle for Christ's victory over guilt and condemnation. Forgive us our debts, as we have also forgiven our debtors. Matthew 6:12. Neither do I condemn you. Go your way, and from now on do not sin again. John 8:11.
Thank you. So we have 7 candles here. One represents victory over darkness and despair. One represents victory over sickness and disease. One represents victory over grief and sadness. One represents victory over hatred and unforgiveness. One represents victory over poverty and lack. One represents victory over feeling unloved and neglected. And one represents victory over guilt and condemnation. We all feel these things. We all struggle with these things. And Christ's victory over these allows us to know that we too can be victorious over these. We too can overcome these things if we just continue to raise our consciousness to see God in all situations. We can overcome any obstacles that come our way when we remember to come from our Christ center instead of our human center. We give thanks that we've been shown this way, and we are eternally grateful. So I am now going to light the Christ candle, which symbolizes the higher self in all of us, thereby allowing us to make a difference in the world. For within each of us is the Christ. And when we use this holiday, when we use this Easter to remember that, when we remember the fact that we are the Christ, we are the Christ that has overcome many obstacles in our life and will continue to have the opportunity to overcome many obstacles in our life, so that we too may have victory over our human thinking and be able to attain that higher Christ consciousness thinking. And when we do that, we truly become the light in the world. And so we sing this little light of mine to remind ourselves that we are that light, that we go forth into the world shining that light, so that others can see the way, so that others can say, they do this, I too can do this. Just like Jesus came to say, I can do this, you can do this. We are all Christ in this world. We have come here to show others how to overcome the difficulties in life. And so let us stand up and sing this little light of mine, and sing it like you really are that light in the world that lights the darkness.
Here we go. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, oh, let it shine.
And before we do our prayer for protection, a little announcement. We are going to have the children are going to have an Easter egg hunt afterward. They have their baskets. Easter eggs have been hidden for them to hunt. That's why we're going to end a little early so they have time to do that. We have a big Easter feast in there. It was going to be a little brunch. It's turned out to be like a Passover Seder. So there's plenty of food, and the only thing missing is the wine. And so the children are going to do that. We're going to have a feast, and don't leave right away, because after we do this, the peace song and the prayer for protection, the choir is going to do another song. So let us join together for our peace song and prayer for protection.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. The light of God surrounds us.
I am the light of God.
The love of God enfolds us.
I am the love of God.
The power of God protects us.
I am the power of God.
And the presence of God watches over us.
I am the presence of God.
All together,
Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Yay, God!
Amen.